listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champion, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. And guys, we ready to do this thing live from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. And guys, here inside the Hall of Fame, where you get your champagne wishes, is all about the people. How y'all doing, man? How you doing, Bradley?
I'm doing great, Boog. I'm doing great. We're wrapping up the week. I got some travels this weekend. We got good news about some travels that we have the following week. You know what I mean? So I'm just getting ready. I'm living it. We had beautiful weather today. No rain. You know what I mean? I know you haven't gone off to the golf game at all recently.
Oh, man. I got my
today would have been the day.
Got my protein drink right now. I'm in the gym, man. I'm training. I'm getting ready for this next run. I got one last run in me. Right there. I'm training again. Hey, look here. I'm not talking about in the ring. Okay.
Oh,
it's just
you mean an actual jog around the block. You got one more good run left.
With the kids, walking a little girl down the aisle one day. That's the next championship bout. But no, man.
You know what that reminds me of? You said the funniest thing. We were out at the party last Saturday. The DJ or whomever starts playing the music, and there was a couple people dancing out there, right? And I believe our mutual friend Chuck Rice said, "Book, why don't you go out there and dance?" And you said, "Look, I got to talk to my knees first." You're like, they're like a whole different person. They're a part of the conversation now.
I'm serious, man. Before I even think about doing something like that, what do y'all think? No, we ain't gonna do that. Forget about that. I'm serious, man. But no, man, you talking about, let's get this out of the way right now. Talking about the big date coming up, April 22nd, in Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. And man, this is going to be a great fight. This is going to be a great fight. Ryan Garcia, 23-0, 19 knockouts. Gervonta Tank Davis, 28-0 with 26 KOs. Somebody's old must go. And right now, man, all of the pros, all the pundits been talking about this fight and which way is going to go, which side, everyone is leaning. And for me, I love this kid, Ryan Garcia. He's somewhat of a prodigy. This kid been doing this since he was a little bitty boy, and he believes in himself. Got a chance to talk to him on the kickoff show just a couple of weeks ago at WrestleMania. And I asked the kid, was he ready for, the biggest fight of his life, perhaps the toughest fight of his career? And he gave me a stone cold answer. He looked me right in the eye, and he said he's ready to leave everything. And I mean, everything inside the middle of that square circle. So, man, I'm so looking forward to seeing this fight, because we do know that man, Tank Davis. He's kind of like Carmelo Hayes. When he shoot his shot, he don't miss. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this thing play out, man. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great weekend. You and I, we will be at Radio Row, and I just got a call from one of my good buddies, one of my and colleagues, Petey Rosenberg. Say he can't wait to meet up out there, man. Have a cold and get a little something to eat, man. So I'm so looking forward to this weekend.
Petey boy is going to be out there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, great. It's always good to see Rosie.
You got the call.
Got the call. I got to hit Rosenberg up. See when he gets in. Yeah, I'm excited, man. The Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis, obviously these two guys, they're two of the most credible fighters out there doing it right now. Tank, last time he fought, I believe, had a Booker T reference in his press conference, right?
Yeah.
When do you think it was? Because I was thinking about this at the time, and I guess I'm thinking about it now. When do you think it was where anybody with dreads was then associated thereafter with Booker T? Like, anytime anybody has dreads. Like, I remember what was his name from the Seahawks? Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman. Yeah. I remember he did something one day, and everyone's like, "Oh, look, he's got dreads like Booker T." Anytime anybody has dreads, they now relate it to you. When did you start picking up on that? Like, when did that start happening?
I don't know, man, but I like it.
I know. I mean, it's not bad.
The thing is, I always say you got to figure out how to stay relevant in this world. And my thing has always been also, if you don't know how to change with the times will pass you by. So when I started growing the dreads, in the early 2000s, I said, man, I got to, figure this out and, be able to change my character up a little bit. I'd never thought about the dreads, becoming my image and, the way people, look at me and see me. But it's here. And I tell you, man, it's hard, man, because I treat my hair like a chia pet. I'm watering it, talking to it, I'm nurturing it, fertilizing
it. Do people talk to their chia pets?
Bro, yes, I'm saying fertilizing it, everything, man, to try to hold on to it as long as I can't show up with a big bald spot, you know what I mean? And not looking like Booker T. And I'm dreading today, I'm gonna have to cut it. My daughter, she's actually that way too. She goes, Dad, I don't know what you're gonna look like without your hair. But she did tell me I can rock short hair too, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, you know what I think. Look, I'm not rooting for it, but I think if that day ever comes, the beard is going to tremendously help, because the beard is so awesome that even if you go with the close fade on top, let's just say,
I'm definitely going to just let the beard just grow all the way out. I'm gonna be like Lovey Smith. but with a job.
I was going to say long beard, no job.
but with a job.
But you really did. Because before people compared everybody with dreads to you, the comparison was to Whoopi, right? Like everybody would talk about Whoopi Goldberg and her dreads. Now I hear nothing about Whoopi's dreads. Nothing. They don't say nothing about her. Everyone's Booker T. Everybody.
Hey man, you gotta figure it out. It's crazy too. When I walk around with this thing here on my just a lot of people still recognize me. But when I got my hair down, man, I can't walk anywhere, like in the airport, in the grocery store, anywhere. So definitely, it's become, who I am, and I love it, man. I love it. It's all the way down past the buttocks now, and I'm gonna just keep letting it grow and see how long it'll grow, and how long this thing lasts, how long this ride lasts, more than anything.
You are right. When you have the hair up and in your what would you call that? Is it a cap?
In the bun, yeah.
But like, what's the head thing?
Oh yeah, little skull cap.
Skull cap. When you have it in the skull cap, I do see people look at you and they're like, I think that might be.
Yeah.
Is that could be? But when the hair is down, that's Booker T. Let's go get her.
Yeah.
and you except for, because you brought up Vegas, we'll tell this story and then we'll get into the show today. The only time somebody got it wrong, you remember what I'm about to say, is when we're on the escalator going to the MGM Grand Garden Arena to watch, I think it was Fury and Wilder. We're going down the escalator, and I kept hearing one of our cousins from across the pond go, Lennox. Excuse me, Lennox. Like, and I'm thinking, who is he talking to?
Lennox cut his hair. What are you talking about? he's having a flashback. Thinking of Lennox. But that's a good one, too, to be compared to Lennox, man. That's a good thing, man, that day. So, yeah, man. Can't wait.
Yeah, that's the only time I think I ever heard somebody get you wrong.
I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited to get back to Vegas, man. I'm so excited to get back to fight week. And what a great time to go. This is going to be the biggest fight. Could be the fight of the year. Man, I'm excited. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We will be back in a momento.
Fame, here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We got a whole lot for you here today. Actually, we don't have a whole lot for you. We're going to need you guys. Yeah. You guys use super chatters to carry us through today, but it's a little bit of news out there. Of course, perhaps the biggest news is Jeff Hardy made his return to AEW Dynamite. You ain't going to give him a cheer?
Oh, yes. Oh, well, wrong button. Wrong button. Here we go.
I'll get it for him. There it is. Yeah.
There you go, Book. My bad. Oh, harp's a good thing to have, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If you're dying, going to heaven. Oh my God, man. What do you think? What do you think, man? Jeff Hardy made his return, man. Big splash. Jeff Hardy being on hiatus for a little while, handling his business more so than anything. I'm glad to see Jeff Hardy back. Jeff's a good dude. Remember everybody wanted to crap on Jeff Hardy when he was going through his rough time there for a second. But I said, man, come on, guys. This is the same guy that has bled, put his body on the line each and every night for those fans. And I say, don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. So for me, I'm just glad to see Jeff Hardy back and doing well. Took his shirt off and he looked like he's been working out and trying to get in the best shape of his life.
Hey, I was watching the Dynamite show last night, and it was funny because I didn't know that Jeff was coming back. I didn't even read anything that Jeff was going to be back. And I was watching the show, and I had that thought to myself. I'm like, if there's ever a time for Jeff to come out, it'd be right now. And I mean, as soon as I think it, boom, there's the music. He comes running down to the ring. And I don't know if this was intentional, because remember when he made his debut in AEW Dynamite, he came running down to save Matt. And when he made his return in AEW Dynamite, he's running down to save Matt. Same scenario kind of set up for him. But he did look great. He hit all his stuff. The fans obviously happy for him. I think all the viewers happy for him. And let's see kind of where it goes, because Jeff's getting to the point, I would think, that, we're probably looking at the last couple runs here, right? I mean, I think he's nearing 50, if not 50. Maybe late 40s.
Both of those guys, Matt and Jeff, got to be nearing that number. But my thing is, I'm glad.
That's 45 actually, so he's got some time left.
Got some
time.
More so for me, I'm just glad to see Jeff back. For the Hardy, the Hardys to be reunited together, the tag team. Those guys together, man, they should always be together, man. They are brothers to the bone, and their careers have been made on each other's backs. Seriously, all that time on the road, all those years, Team Extreme, those years, those ladder matches with the Dudleys, and so many
Christian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, hey man, I'm just glad to see those guys back, reunited, and still doing what they do best.
Do you think if they don't stick to a tag team thing, would Jeff, because he's got main event experience, obviously he was WWE champion, world heavyweight champion before, is Jeff somebody who you would try to put in a main event position, just given his name draw? What I'm thinking of, and I'm asking that because I'm thinking about this Wembley Stadium show, All In. They're going to try to sell at least 50,000 tickets. And I'm thinking, okay, what are going to be the marquee matches that get you to that 50,000? Maybe it's MJF versus Jeff Hardy and a ladder for the world title. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. And with Jeff's experience and his name draw, putting him in there, in that picture might not be the worst thing.
You know what? I'm not opposed to that or anything like that. But my thing is this: I see Jeff Hardy in a tag team with his brother. That's the perfect scenario. I don't know, against the Young Bucks. If I'm gonna, I wouldn't want to take those guys and break them up or anything like that. Those two as a tag team against the Young Bucks, that's a marquee. That's a marquee. That's a dream match as well. You know what I mean? So we definitely could get something out of that. If I'm thinking about Wembley and I'm thinking about MJF, definitely thinking about CM Punk. I mean, that's the guy that, everybody's thinking about, you know, tentatively, potentially coming back and making that thing happen. There's a lot of talk, on the internet right now. I was looking, actually reading. FTR was saying that Punk's missing the business and he's ready to come back. Punk got spokesmen pushing for him to get back in there, man. So, no, man, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, more than anything. So, I don't know, man. Wembley, that's a big stadium, so they're gonna need some. They're gonna need some firepower to take into Wembley Stadium and really, really pull that thing off.
And I think there's a few things that you can do, and there are a few matches that maybe you can use to draw that crowd. And you gotta, and this is no knock to like any of the, I don't know, kind of the guys coming up in AEW, but like, to me, that's the card where you have heavy name influence. Like every top name you got's got to be on that card. And they got to be in something.
Big Show got to be on it. Mark Henry.
Yeah. I mean, they got to be there. They got to be on the poster. Big Show's got it. I guarantee you Big Show's on the poster.
Wait a minute. Are you opposed to them being on the show in a match?
Maybe. I'm not opposed to it as long as it's the right thing, the right match. Last time Show or Paul White, did a match there. I think it was against QT Marshall. It was a while back that he did something. I think he's kind of nice with, or he's comfortable, feeling nice with his position on the commentary table. Mark Henry hasn't wrestled in quite some time. I don't think Henry would be doing anything.
Why not?
Maybe he would.
Why wouldn't Mark Henry do something?
I mean, maybe he would. I don't know if he has interest in wrestling one more, but maybe here's the thing. My point is, it is an all hands on deck, all names approach. You got to put as many recognizable names the worldwide on that show to draw 50,000 people. That's why people are going to call me crazy. You might call me crazy after I say this. That's why I think I'm making a prediction that a recent free agent on the market might make his AEW debut at Wembley. And I think it might be Bill Goldberg. I'm telling you. Get Goldberg to go in there against whoever as an attraction. That wouldn't be an attraction for Wembley Stadium. When's the last time Goldberg wrestled in London or Wembley, wherever Wembley is?
Look, I like
the UK.
Look, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not.
Tony Khan says he's got his eye on Goldberg.
I'm not opposed, but I'm not sitting there, going against you on this one. Okay, I mean, I like the idea. I mean, why are you so hot?
I'm not hot about it. I could just read your face.
No, you think I'm gonna come back with something, right?
You look like you want to.
I'm not coming back with anything.
All right.
I like the idea. I mean, if Goldberg was to show up, it would be a huge pop. It would be a huge pop. Put him against QT Marshall. Let him go out, hit him with the jackhammer. That'll be safe. That's a safe bet. You know what I mean?
Spear jackhammer, 90 seconds.
Exactly. Boom. We got something here. Yeah, I get it. Then you got Tony Schiavone saying, "It's Bill Goldberg." You know what I mean? I get it.
Or hey, what do you think of this?
Nostalgia, man. It's nostalgia. I get it. Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Thing is, this right. Just the thing. Do you think the AEW fans would like that?
Yeah. Because I think it's like, oh, we got another one. We got one.
That would be the only reason I think the appeal would be, like high for Goldberg, is we got one, we got one of theirs, something like that. But I don't think the AEW fan would really be that high on the Goldberg style of wrestling coming into that company, knowing what those guys do.
Well, it's diametrically opposed to everything that we see from them from an in-ring perspective, right? This Bill Goldberg, and for that matter, Big Show as well, or Paul White, guys like that, isn't the AEW style per se. But I'm telling you, man, I think that could be a thing. I also think
I'm gonna tell you right now, that would be the biggest pop of the night. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because Goldberg's a star.
Megastar.
He's not. He's not. I've said it a thousand times, and I said again. Goldberg did not make his career on being the greatest wrestler in the world. He was like you said, an attraction, and he was one of the biggest stars this business ever. This guy made this business a boatload, a ton of money, as well as made a lot of it for himself. But he did that because people wanted to see him. He was, the Ultimate Warrior. Cut from that same cloth.
Very much so. That's a great comparison.
He may not be the best wrestler in the world, but this guy made this business a boatload of money, and I think that's where you rank the guys in this business. I think in a lot of ways, So Goldberg, if he was to come out of the curtain, if he was to get that walk, the locker room beating on the door. Bring back James, what's his name? The security guard, the old security guard from Doug Dillinger. Bring him back. Let him knock on the door. I think I saw him doing something with AEW before. So yeah, man, nostalgia, man. Nostalgia is in. I know we got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Just talking a little wrestling, sports, and entertainment. A little bit of everything under that umbrella. Coming to you guys from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. Where we want to go, man? Want to keep rolling? Want to take some super chats or what?
Well, I had one other thing I wanted to run by you before we go to the super chatters today. One of the things that I think is important to talk about when we're talking about Wembley Stadium, when we're talking about AEW trying to sell 50,000 people. In the last segment, we were talking about, hey, who's going to be on that card? Is it going to be Bill Goldberg? Are we going to see Paul White, Mark Henry, CM Punk? And I think we should talk about CM Punk. But I was watching the Dynamite show last night, and one of the things that popped into my brain was there was a segment with Darby Allin and with MJF, right? And during this segment, Sting made his return to Dynamite, and he and MJF had a little back and forth encounter, and it was really Sting putting over Darby more than anything. And he said the Stingers, time is coming to an end. He knows this. Should Sting, could this be a draw for Sting's last match to be at Wembley Stadium? Because I don't think if AEW does draw this crowd they're thinking, he will be wrestling in front of a larger crowd or a more historic venue for the remainder of his run in AEW. Retiring at Wembley in front of 50,000 could be pretty cool.
Who's he going to be working?
That I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe he works Darby. Maybe he works MJF on the show.
MJF. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Does he win? Does he lose?
I feel like Sting would like to lose, right?
I don't know.
Pay it forward. Maybe he works Darby. Maybe he works Darby. Maybe they do something like that, passing of the torch. I don't know what you do, but I just feel like
no. You know what? You need to be booking the show. You need to be have a part in the booking committee. You know, I'm serious.
Give me a job.
You know what I'm saying? Tony Khan, Brad Gilmore's available. Give him a job. You know what I mean? He's looking to be on somebody's booking committee.
Committee.
He's got great ideas. So hook him up. But yeah, man, I see that. I see that happening as well. I see Sting having, one last hoorah and be able to do it the way perhaps he want to do it, opposed to the way it happened for him in WWE. That might be something that he wants to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, the WWE run, I understand the criticism of it, obviously. But at the same time, he got to have a high-profile WrestleMania match with Triple H, and then his last match honestly would have been a world title match in the main event of a WWE pay-per-view. It's not a bad way to walk out, but I understand he wanted to walk out on his terms. And this time he's got that ability. And I feel like this all-in event's going to be one that if they pull it off, which I have no reason to doubt that they will, is going to be one of the ones that's talked about for that company specifically for the rest of their careers. Like literally, as long as AEW is around, if they pull this all-in show off and it's one to remember, they're always going to bring it up. It's going to be like Wembley Stadium for WWE when we talk about SummerSlam 92 with British Bulldog and Bret Hart. It's still an event that everyone brings up all the time. And for Sting, this could be a really cool venue to go out on. We talked about a couple months ago for you at the Alamo Dome, 50, 60,000 people in Texas. It was just such a great venue and moment, right? And for Sting to have something similar, it might not be in his hometown or home state, but it'd be a big show, the biggest show he could possibly wrestle on for the rest of his career.
Hey, man, I get it. I totally get it. If he was to go out that way, it would be great for him. Sting's he paved the way, man. He's done a hell of a lot in this business, and for Sting to still be doing it at 63, right? 63.
He might even be 64 now.
It's amazing, man. It really is. I don't know how he does it. I'm serious. I don't know how he does. He obviously loved this business a whole lot more than one would imagine. But he's definitely paid his dues.
He just turned 64.
64 years old, man. That's retirement, man. That's social security age. You know what I'm saying? AARP, all that. Geritol, everything comes along with 65. So
maybe that's been his plan the whole time. Like, let me get to 65 and then I'll draw social. That's been the plan.
That's it. Blue Cross Blue Shield. Everything.
Medicare.
Medicaid.
Give it all to him, man. Give it all to him. The stinger. But you know what was crazy is I was watching the show last night. Sting comes out. He does this promo MJF. And part of it's probably the fact that he's Sting and people are seeing Sting in person. There's an energy in the room for that. But the other thing is like, man, this guy who spent the probably hottest period of his career as someone who didn't talk, Sting is a really good promo. Like, he got the people into it last night just by talking, and he thought about it. He did this thing with these pom-poms, talking about MJF and this cheerleader mentality. I mean, it was a thought-out promo that you could tell was from his brain.
Yeah.
And he delivered it so well, man. He really is one of the all-time greats.
I mean, Sting always been good on the mic. I don't think Sting would have gotten this far without being a good baby face that was able to pick up the mic and call out someone on the fly. He was pretty good at it. He wasn't the greatest at the mic or anything like that, but he definitely was, pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, just you don't think of that. Like when I thought of Sting back in the day, or even in the Ready to Rumble movie, which I think just had an anniversary pass. I think the 25th anniversary of Ready to Rumble or something like that. Or the 20th anniversary or something. I can't remember. But with Sting, that's who I think of. I think of him as the silent character, and it is always fun because so much of his career in the last 20 years was in Impact. I'll be honest, I didn't see it all. I didn't see Joker Sting when he was doing the Joker Sting.
Well, I remember more so the Beach Boy Sting. Yeah,
Surfer
yeah.
Sting.
Yeah, and he did a lot of talking back then.
I know, but they were like the 80s, 90s promos.
It was 80s, 90s promos, but even in the 80s and the 90s, you still had to be able to talk on the mic in order to get over, especially as a baby face, even though his talk was baby face-ish, you know what I mean? It had that hoorah, hoorah feeling behind it. But yeah, he was, he wasn't bad at it.
No, but I want to see if there's a Sting promo. But and him and his tag partner that he broke in with. Now the Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, has some promos, man. I don't know what he was talking about half the time, but that guy had some energy when he was doing a promo. Have you ever seen the Hulk Hogan WrestleMania promo with the Ultimate Warrior, where he talks about the plane?
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Just I don't know who thought of that. What a crazy promo, though.
You know what, though? It's so offbeat, though. It's something that captivates you to where you want to, take a ride.
100% agree.
And so I think that's what was so unique about Warrior being able to, and that's what I talk about. I made a comment about, Carmelo and Bron Breakker's match, and I said, man, it felt like they walked through it. They didn't feel their way through it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The Ultimate Warrior, not being the best wrestler, he still knew how to make you feel. He made you want to get on that ride. And if you was anywhere near, the wrestling business and wanted to be a part of it back then, when you saw the Ultimate Warrior come out, you go, God dang it, man, who is this guy, man? God, man, you wanted some of that. You wanted some of that energy. And I'm going to tell you, and it made you feel, that's what I'm talking about when I say making fans feel a certain way. It's like that effect when like just say, for instance, Michael Jackson walk out on stage and the whole front row, all of the girls just start crying. Prince, they just start crying. You think they start crying because they just see him? They feel a certain way when they see him. You know what I mean? And that's what really, that's what Piper did. That's what Hogan did. That's what the great wrestlers did, for their fans. They made them feel a certain way. And that's what I miss about the business so much, as far as that Shakespeare, that Romeo and Juliet portion of, the matches, So yeah, I'm trying to get it back there, though.
Oh, we'll get it back. This business is cyclical, but it is always sad to see, like, a couple years ago when Taker finally stepped away, and then I feel like Sting might be the last. He's like the last of the Mohicans who was around from the Crockett era into WCW, the launch of Nitro.
Yeah, he's it. That's it. I mean, Sting is it. He's the last one. He's the last one left.
Incredible.
He really is. He's the last one left. Big props, because I never thought Sting would be the last one left.
And then this is 23 years after WCW stopped, or 22 years.
Hey, man, that's just the way the old mouth flop. We got to take another break, though. We got to take another break. We got a whole lot more to talk about. We're going to get to you guys' super chats in a little bit as well. So just stick around. We will be back in a minute.
How well do you think you know your wrestling? I've prepared some trivia questions right here for you. So let's go and take a look. How was that? I hope you did well. Now let's throw it back over to Brad and Booker for the Hall of Fame.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. Yeah, just talking a little wrestling, sports and entertainment. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're going to be talking about it here inside the Hall of Fame today, as well as you super chatters. Brad said we're going to be getting to you guys sometime. So I'm just following his lead on that. So we'll get there when we get there.
Well, I will tell you, by the way, I want to shout out to this streaming interface that we use to do the show, because now they have a whole button that saves all the super chats. I don't have to
wait a minute, a whole button?
A whole button, not a half button, not a quarter button. They got a whole button that I can press.
Okay, that's what I was just making sure. I was just trying to clarify that. A whole button, not just a button, a whole button. Like okay, all right, we good.
A whole button book. I got a whole super chat button, and so it saves them all. Whereas sometimes I'd get lost in the sauce and I couldn't find them all because I'm scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of comments. Boom! Now they're all in one place.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that, man. It's a whole button.
What's going on here? It's like one time I was talking to Greg Hales, and I go, man, I always never did like, wait a minute. You always never did. We still talk about that still to this day.
Always and never did, man. I love it.
It's a double negative.
I guess you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll hit the first super of the show to get on the road with these. This is from let me see if I got my super chat button. Things aren't working for me today. There we go. This goes from Mike Edwards. Says, what's up with sports in Texas? Other than the Astros, no NBA teams in the playoffs, and there is is there a sports rivalry between Houston and Dallas?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You call that a rivalry?
I think there's just an inherent rivalry between Houston and Dallas.
I mean, it's like the Hatfields and the McCoys, of course, but it's really no rivalry because we've never won. We always get beat.
We've beat the Cowboys before.
I mean, we beat the Cowboys before, but we've never beat the Cowboys where it was
mattered,
where it was significant or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I don't call that a win until we can win a championship here in the city. I'm as far as football goes, our Astros, they doing it. Our Rockets, not since Akeem Olajuwon and them boys. It's been a long time, but I can't say this city, if they were to do like the other big cities that really wanted to win, we would win, and that spent some money. You know what I mean? You got to spend. Man, New York, man, they spend money. Even though them Knicks, man, they ain't winning no games, man, they still spending money. You know what I mean? The Yankees, man, they gonna go all out. They got so many banners in their stadium, it ain't even funny, man. They got so many of them. You don't think they bought more than half of them? I'm serious. That's just the name of the game. You don't think it's odd that the Yankees always got a hitter, a big hitter?
It's not.
You don't think it's not odd that the Yankees always have a hell of a pitching squad?
No, it's not on. They spend the money.
You think that's by coincidence? No, it's not. You know what I mean? You got to spend some money, and I think that's what Houston. We looking to slip on a banana peel and win a championship. We looking to slip on a banana peel and happen to get a great player, and he just happened to turn out and be Jordan. But that ain't gonna happen.
Well, I mean, yeah, not with the basketball situation, and ownership now. I'm weary of altogether about spending money. But I will say we did it the right way with the Astros. The Astros, we didn't have to go spend a whole ton of money. We actually drafted well. We developed players well, and then somehow, I don't know how it's happened, but we'll let a player go like a George Springer or a Carlos Correa, and all of a sudden another guy just pops up like a Jeremy Pena.
You know what
I mean?
It's just our time. As far as the Astros go, that's all it is. Because it's so many guys. It's been like a rotating door, and we still seem to stay positive and stay on top of that part of the game right there. And I must say, bringing Dustin Baker in was a great decision. I wasn't
phenomenal.
totally on board with that decision in the beginning. I thought maybe a younger player to coach that team, or a younger coach to coach that team. But Dusty definitely has turned out to be the man, and I'll give him big props.
Let me ask you, speaking of the Astros, because I wanted you to kind of weigh in on this, but I want to know if you saw it. Did you see the Megan Thee Stallion first pitch?
No, I missed it.
Okay. So Megan Thee Stallion was there opening day.
But let me tell you this. Even if I would have been there, I probably, and Megan was doing the pitch out, I still probably would have missed it.
Why is that? Oh, I see. You would have been looking. Well, that's the point that I'm going to bring up here. Now, I know people in the chat, they may have seen this, but there's some controversy going on the internet about our player David Hensley and something he may or may not have done to Megan Thee Stallion after her first pitch. People are saying his hands might have been a little too low when he went in for the hug, if you feel what I'm saying.
Hey, maybe the hands wasn't too low. Maybe the rump was too high. Too big.
Let me see if I can find the
I'm just saying, people gotta make something out. Wait a minute. The thing is, did Megan have a problem with it?
I don't think she said anything.
That's the thing.
I do think she spoke.
Wouldn't have a problem with it. If Megan didn't have a problem with it, she ain't on the internet talking about it. It shouldn't be a problem.
Can you see it and weigh in for us? Can you see and weigh in?
If I can see it.
Okay, here we go. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
The Chicago White Sox, they did not make a whole bunch of changes.
This is the
but they do have a new manager.
First pitch.
He gets set for the opening pitch.
She's making her way down to the thing. What is your evaluation here so far of her technique?
41,000.
Yeah.
Have been on
that's a great form.
Minutes with the teams.
Well, right now she's we're getting ready to throw the first pitch, but she's looking at second base.
And their entire rosters in the World Series trophy.
Not sure why. She's looking at second base. She needs to throw it around.
Oh my God, man.
She just said, "Who do I throw it to?"
That's unbelievable.
Who do I throw it to?
And they're probably telling her, "Come on, we need you to throw this thing."
All
right, now here we go.
She was practicing beneath the stadium.
Megan Thee Stallion is about to throw out the first pitch. Now I want you to look at
she gets set to throw.
The aftermath with David Hensley, and tell me if you think the left hand, the glove hand, goes a little too low. Here we go.
That wasn't a bad pitch.
Here we go. Here we go. Here's the moment.
Set for the first pitch. As we get set for opening.
Did he go too low?
Here in Houston.
Man, come on.
Did he go too low?
Look here. Come on. Come on. No,
I mean, it's on there.
Look, he just bracing. You can't look with Megan. Megan got a lot back there. All right. She got a lot of junk in the trunk. Is the way they say that in my area. And I don't think, ain't nothing wrong with that. He ain't trying to do nothing.
I mean, the hand's a little low though. If that glove wasn't there,
look at why you making a big deal out of it.
I'm not. No. I'm not making a big deal.
Why you making a big deal out of it?
I'm with you. If she didn't care, if she doesn't care, I don't care.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, this is what the internet said, and I see the internet's point. I see the internet's point. I'm not saying I agree or disagree.
The guy got a glove on. That glove is heavy. He's got the ball in that hand. That's an extra pound. You know what I mean? A gravity. There's a lot going on there, man.
Glove side, man. Glove side. Okay. Hey, he's cleared. He's exonerated. And what did you think of her first pitch other than that?
Like I say, it wasn't bad. I wasn't expecting a strike or anything. I wasn't expecting the way when I went out there and threw a curved knuckler or anything like that. But yeah, she did a great job. Megan's man, she's hot. She's hot.
She is.
She's a ticket.
She's a very, very beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have another super chat here, and this is from Mike Edwards again, who says, "Have you guys seen the Dante Martin injury?" Yeah, Book. Remember, I showed you this when we were in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro. Probably did that, I don't know, 100 times. And finally, one time, that's all it takes. And that's the one thing that it can screw your whole career up as well. He's definitely going to be tentative, weary, leery about going out there and doing that ever again. I say that from experience. You know, I've gotten hurt and it totally screwed with my head, my psyche a little bit, as well as that time off your worst enemy. I'm sure, you know, when Dante get back, they're going to, you know, bring him right back in, you know, right back in and, you know, put him right back to work and let him get back out there and, you know, make some money. But those little bitty nagging injuries, man, like that, they haunt you for the rest of your, not your rest of your career, but for the rest of your damn life. I'm serious. You know what I mean? So, best thing I can say is, you know, hey, try not to get hurt, man. Try not to get hurt. Because this thing, it don't last forever. And you do want some quality of life at the end of it. But what a horrific injury.
It was sad to see, man. I never want to see any of the boys or girls go down for any kind of injury. And that was one that sucked, you know. The spot, you know, was a high risk spot. So you're almost not surprised, you know, something went awry because it's just such a risky thing to do. A Canadian destroyer off a ladder through tables to the outside of the ring. There's a lot of things that could go wrong there. A lot of things, and you saw it.
Yeah, we got to take a break on that one right there, too, dog. Yeah. Look here, man. I don't teach that in reality wrestling. You guys want to learn what not to do. You know, go to realitywrestling.com and we'll sign you right up. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Nathan Wasser, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I came down here to Reality of Wrestling to improve my training and get myself more experience learning from the absolute best. It's intense. It's hard. You got to leave your ego at the door and come in with an open mind. The way they do stuff here is the next level. But if you do that, you'll end up bettering yourself in the end, and you'll improve, and you'll be able to work anywhere.
Nathan, he's an unbelievably awesome student. I'll tell you why, right? For a few reasons. Number one, the man packed up all the way from the Great White North to move down here to the U.S. to train because he wanted to learn from one of the best. But what's even more impressive, on top of the fact that he takes care of his body, he works hard, is the fact that he was trained by a very reputable trainer and yet still comes down here humble, hungry, ready to work and ready to learn, and not coming in here acting like he knows everything or that he's too rigid in his ways.
Booker's knowledge will help you get to whatever goals you want to do if you want to be a big star in this industry. My end goal is to be in WWE. Coming down here to Reality of Wrestling, I feel is the best opportunity for me to get there, so I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can promise you, when you come to Reality of Wrestling, it will change your life. You will not regret it.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shub! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, y'all. Yeah! Getting ready to head back out to Vegas, guys, April 22nd. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. It's going to be a big fight going down. The Prodigy, Ryan Garcia, taking on that Tank, Javante Davis. Oh, yes! It's going to be good, and I cannot wait. What we got, man? More super chats?
We do have more super chats. Before we jump into them, I wanted to ask you one thing from the world of WWE and Monday Night Raw. What did you think about your girl, your fellow 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, Trish Stratus?
Yeah.
She got pinned for the first time, and somebody said like 20-something. I can't remember how long, like 15 years, 20 years, something crazy like that. And she went out.
Retired for last 15.
Well, she's been retired. Well, she's kind of been off and on, right?
Yeah, but go ahead.
She's been off and on.
Yeah.
And she got pinned by Liv Morgan, lost the women's tag team titles for her team, and then turned heel on Becky Lynch. What'd you just think of the whole angle? And I mean, are you excited to see kind of Trish and is back kind of for a nice little run, it looks like?
Hey, man, to see bad girl Trish, you know, You know, I don't know. We've never seen this side of Trish before.
We had a heel Trish for the last time was WrestleMania 21 when she turned heel.
A long time anyway, but nah, man, like seeing Trish back in action, you know, to do something like that, something you'd never expect. So what's been cool about WWE lately is stuff that you know, you just don't see it coming. You know, just not the norms of the way, you know, business has been done over the last, you know, few years. I'm liking the misdirections of the show, you know. So for me, with Trish doing something like that, definitely gets you thinking, make you wonder, as well as it lights the fire of Trish Stratus all over again. People talking about her. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm a fan. Well, we get back now to the super chats, and this is from Virgil Dawkins.
Super chat.
I've never been a fan of Roman Reigns, especially after he buried The Undertaker on the mic after Raw at WrestleMania, back when he was doing the I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy gimmick. When did he bury? If he's meaning, I remember when he beat The Undertaker, and on the Raw after WrestleMania, he came out, the fans were booing him out of the building, and then he said, this is my yard now. I remember that. But I don't think that that's a burial book.
No, I don't think anybody's ever buried The Undertaker. It's just not something that's ever happened.
Except for Vince McMahon when he literally buried him alive at the Survivor Series.
Yeah, I guess. I guess. But no one's never buried The Undertaker. And I wouldn't want anyone to think something like that. Undertaker's always been a guy that has been very, very highly respected in this game. And if Roman went out there and said that, he was told to say it. And I'm sure he got the approval as well, you know. So it's a respect thing here in this business. It's a pecking order, and Roman Reigns has paid his dues to be able to go out there and do what he do.
Yeah, I don't think that Roman has anything but the utmost respect for The Undertaker like everybody does. I don't think there's anybody who's either a wrestling fan, a casual fan, watched it once, or ever worked the match that doesn't have respect for that man. So I don't think there was a burial there. Virgil, though, follows that up and says, Triple H has always expressed how much he is a fan of Bruno Sammartino, who was champion for 7 years. What if the creative inspiration for Roman being champion, that is the creative inspiration for Roman being a champion as long as he has been? I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you think of a long run in general, Book?
You know what I think is necessary sometimes? Guys don't come along like Roman every day. They just don't. Roman waited. You know, Roman wasn't the guy who got the ball first. He wasn't, you know. Roman was the guy that he was waiting, you know, to get the ball. And when he got the ball, he's cashed in. You know, he wasn't the chosen one. Roman has put himself in position to be the guy by going out there, and a lot of guys don't get it. A lot of guys don't understand it. They look at Roman and they just look at him from the outside appeal of the head of the table and this character that we're seeing. But when I look at Roman as the best damn wrestler on the damn card. Every night, he's the guy that you can't have a bad match with. He's the guy whether you know you're gonna get with you may be a mediocre babyface, but when you're working with Roman, the crowd is gonna be louder than they've ever been for that mediocre babyface that they've ever been in their lives for anyone like that because of Roman Reigns.
100%.
Those guys, you know, those guys aren't created, man. Those guys are born that way. And that's why Roman Reigns is in the position he's in. And I just need people to understand that more so than anything. But the long title reign, who better to do it with than someone like Roman Reigns? A guy that's believable, a guy that could go out there and hold his own with anybody inside that square circle. A guy that's you don't like personally. You know what I mean? the long title reign for Roman has been perfect. Like I say, it wouldn't work for everybody. It's not going to work for Cody. Cody's not going to have the belt 5 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's just the way it falls in line. And there again, Bruno Sammartino's era. You think every other guy had the title 7 years? You know why? You know why Bruno had the title 7 years?
Tell him. Because
he was selling the house out every night. Madison Square Garden. Bruno Sammartino, I rode with him in the back in the limo on the way to New York City one day, and Bruno told me he sold the garden out. I don't know how many times, but he's
like 100 days in a row or something, or 100 times in a row or something crazy.
He was very proud of it. You know what I mean? Hogan didn't do that. I did. That's what he said. That's what he told me. You know what I mean? So when you got a guy like that, top billing, drawing the house, yeah, man, you keep that title on him, and that's just the way it is.
You know, I heard your compatriot Kevin Nash talking actually just today on his YouTube channel, and he said, you know, with Roman, if you get somebody, and I want to know if you agree or disagree. If you get somebody who's had a run for 900, because they're talking about why did Cody lose? He said if you have somebody who's had a run that's at 950 days, you got to get to 1,000 for that benchmark, right? Just for the legacy of a historical moment. He said, like, if you could work any other sport, if you could work baseball, he said you're going to have somebody beat Bonds' 72 home runs, right? Because just for the legacy of it. Do you agree with that? Like, since Roman's had it this long, you want to see him get to 1,000 days? Would that be important to you if you were the promoter?
Well, yeah, for a lot of different reasons. Reasons I'm not, willing to go into. But yeah, I would definitely want to see Roman, get to that 1,000, benchmark, just because it's a history, making moment for Roman. Roman carries that throughout, the history and the annals of time. I would definitely try to do that.
I see the point in it, and I see him just again making him the guy, and I think that he's going to lap the run of. By the time it's all said and done, if he passes the 1,000 days, I think he also passes the 434-day reign of CM Punk as WWE champion, and he passes the reign that Brock Lesnar had as Universal champion. So he'd be the longest reigning champion of the modern era. And you know what? People were hating on him a little bit for taking somewhat of a lighter schedule. And I saw Roman do an interview with Ariel Helwani where he said, look, if any of those guys could get my deal, they would take my deal. He said, Seth would take my deal. He said, but no one else can get this deal. Only I can, because I'm the tribal chief.
Hey, man, Seth Rollins was another guy. He had the reins.
Mm-hmm.
He had the ball. He ran with it. And then they shifted gears. They said, okay, let's give Roman a shot at it. And when Roman got it, he turned into a totally different guy.
He elevated with the title.
He definitely elevated with that championship. It made him at least 30% better, like they say. It gave him that cloak of invincibility. And not only that, like I say, the match level performance that Roman Reigns bring to the table is second to none. And that's why the guy is where he's at right now. Nobody's going to have a bad match with Roman. Nobody's going to have a bad angle. Nobody's going to have a bad feud with Roman Reigns. And that's why he is the head of the table. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a momento.
How well do you think you know your wrestling? I prepared some trivia questions right here for you. So let's go and take a look. How was that? I hope you did well. Now let's throw it back over to Brad and Booker for the Hall of Fame.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Super chatters, man. That's what we at. Super chats. What we got, Brad?
Super chat. We got a whole button for him now, Book.
I know we got a big button.
A big old whole button. Let's see. Our next super chat is from Cali Toenail.
Give us some Roni, brother. Oh, yeah.
Cali Toenail said Raquel finally got some gold. I've been looking for her push. No, we should get her and Liv versus Ronda and Baszler. I kind of see her as a singles versus Rhea, though. Yeah, Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan won the women's tag team championships. I think Raquel had a run with them before with Aaliyah for a short minute.
Yeah, that was a minute. What happened to Aaliyah?
I think she got a injury. I think she got injured.
I mean, she was hot for a minute, and then she was gone.
I don't know where Aaliyah is, wrestler. I'm gonna see. Let's see what's going on with her. But Raquel, they did actually kind of tease Raquel and Rhea Ripley. Did you see that kind of on the ramp? They teased her. Raquel and Liv were coming out, and then her and Rhea had a bit of a stare down.
I can see that match happening, you know, in the next, you know, maybe calendar year, after a calendar year, not anytime soon or anything like that. Raquel Rodriguez is, you know, she's definitely going to be one to watch, one to keep your eye on as far as perhaps being that next big thing. She's a big girl too. She matches up with, you know, the Charlotte Flairs and the Rhea Ripleys, you know, very, very well. May need to work on her back lat spread a little bit, get the right foot back a little bit more, you know, just so she can get a little bit more deep. That's bodybuilding talk, Brad. I know you look confused as hell.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out where Aaliyah was,
okay.
and I got caught up in a story.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's like that. What's going on?
Well, I mean, I just went to the news tab, and it just says Aaliyah has sent WWE fans into a meltdown with her latest revealing photos online. So for my journalistic due diligence, I clicked on it, and I just was, you know, taking in the article.
Anything that could be revealed?
I don't know if we want to. We already had Megan Thee Stallion on the show. You know what I mean? I think one's enough per show, but I'll text you a link.
Yeah, send me the link. You see what I'm saying? Guys, stay off that damn internet, man. That fan time and, you know, and what was it? What's the other one?
OnlyFans
and all that stuff, man. Stay off that stuff, man. I mean, seriously, it can mess up your whole life, your whole career. And the thing is, this is my thing here. This is my thing. Once you become a big star, and then you go get on Fan Time and OnlyFans, you can really make some giant geeters, man. Just you gotta know how to do it. Don't just do it don't do it for this chump change. Don't do yourself, guys. You know, but hey, that's another story. Send me that link.
Let's move on, I guess, to our next sent. Let's move on to our next chat here. You know, Booker's grabbing his phone. We're terrible. We're just being terrible.
Right? Yeah.
We're just being terrible.
Oh,
It's so crazy.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you find the tenderoni, that is right.
Come on, man.
Here's our next super chat.
Super chat.
It's Sting. He mentioned Cody and Nature Boy. Yeah, he did. He mentioned Cody Rhodes and Nature Boy in his promo on AEW Dynamite this past week. Gave a shout out to the Nate and gave a shout out to Cody.
Hey, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sting came up with those guys. Sting is a big part of that legacy. Dusty Rhodes definitely has his blueprint written all over Sting. Seriously, I mean, he was maybe Dusty's creation, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, man, I get it. I get it totally.
Somebody said in the chat, ain't these guys married? we're just
No,
playing.
the thing is, you can be married and you still should be able to look. There's nothing wrong with looks. And the reason I say that is because I was with my wife one day, and my wife was, like it was a woman, and she goes, "Man, she's pretty." And I go, "Who are you talking about?"
We've all done that.
You know what I mean? Man, look at her butt. What butt? I didn't see anything. It's one of those type of deals. So your women, your wives, your significant others, they know it's nothing wrong with your eyes, and you're going to see things. That's what make you stronger than the next man. That's what gives you those superpowers. You know what I mean? And one day, hopefully, you'll be able to, feel that one day.
Well, they'll also hit you with this. Like my wife will be on Instagram, and then she'll hit me and she'll show me the phone, and be like, "Oh, she's pretty. What do you think of her?" And I'm like, "What are you doing to me?
Are we bringing her home?
You shopping, baby? You shop? I thought you were picking out paint colors."
I'm serious, So yeah, I like her.
That is a one-way ticket to divorce court.
It really is, man. It really is.
Yeah, but as you told me one time, it was a good piece of advice. It was like, "Hey, man, my eyes work." Right?
Yeah.
It's a good piece of advice. I mean, hey, you're human at the end of the day.
It's just bottom line. You are human, man. If you stop trying to be human, something can really happen. You could really it could be like bottled up frustration can come out, and it can come out the wrong freaking way. So literally, just be natural. Be normal.
Yeah, be normal. This is from Virgil Dawkins, who says if Sting never took the buckle bomb from Seth and injured his back, do you think WWE would have pushed him and eventually gave him the title?
That's a very, very good question. It's a very, very good question. I don't know where they were going to go with Sting after, that Seth Rollins match, but I do know that was pretty much the beginning of the end because, getting hurt, in this business is one thing, but getting hurt at, damn near 60 years old, that's a liability in so many different ways, So, yeah, I wonder what they would have done with Sting if Sting would have stayed healthy. It's a possibility that they could have pushed him straight to the moon just because they've done it with Goldberg.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
And that's the reason why I could see them actually doing something like that. Just even if it's on a short period of time, even if it was on one of those, pay for play, type deals, come in, once, 2 times a year, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Have big matches, big pay-per-views. I definitely could have seen something like that happening if Sting could have just stayed healthy.
And I'll take a step further. I think that they probably was in the cards. And it might have even been in the cards for very soon after that Night of Champions match. Because I don't recall it specifically, but I do think there was some sort of shenanigans toward the end of the match. Didn't Kane come out? There was something that happened. Because this is when Seth was doing the stuff with the Authority and blah, 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 blah. It was being set up for Sting to have a run. It really was.
It seemed that way.
And the fan in me wishes he had it, just to have that notch in the belt and say, I got it done in WWE. It's one of those things that you'll just never know. We have another one here from Brooklyn Brian.
Super chat.
Mercedes Monet says she's the female version of The Rock. She played a toy guitar and sang a song dissing her opponent on April 23rd, Mayu Iwatani. Do you think that she's the female version of The Rock?
It's not a question to whether I feel like she's the female version of The Rock. As long as she feel that way, that's the only thing that really matters. I don't see her, in the comparison, to The Rock at all, other than perhaps playing a guitar and
And
calling
dissing the opponent.
dissing the opponent. But no, I mean, she is who she is. I take nothing away from who she is, and I don't even know why she would want to be the female Rock. You know, that right there. I don't know. I don't know. That's a strange question. That's
Yeah, I didn't see the comment or the statement. Maybe it was
I
just
saw
about,
that. I read that earlier. I did read
Oh,
that.
you did?
Yeah, I read that earlier. I think I saw it on E-Wrestling News or something like that. And I thought it was people was comparing her to The Rock, and they wasn't quite sure. Something like that. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
know if she actually compared herself to The Rock. That might be what it was.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I don't even really see the comparison. I mean, other than maybe unless it's like you said, just this. Like if it's just like, hey, yeah, she's saying like the opponent and just The Rock. If that's the context she was saying it in,
And like I
if not,
say, and I'm not sure if someone was making the reference towards it
to The Rock.
she was, compared to The Rock. And then it also said, but people wasn't, quite sure. I think it could have been one of those stories where people were just trying to make some news. That's what it sounded like to me.
And maybe it was, but I think that Mercedes is a star in her own right.
She's
She need to be
star,
compared to
man. I don't
anybody.
think she needs to be compared to anybody else.
Yeah. I think we got to take a break.
Yeah, we got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
I am the Rocket, Josiah John. I'm training at Reality of Wrestling. I've wanted to be a wrestler since I was a little kid, since watching it with my dad for the first time and seeing guys like Booker T wrestle. That's when I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I just had to take that leap, take that drive, and chase some dreams. The greatest thing about Reality of Wrestling is all the knowledge that's here. From all the trainers, Brian Davison, Brian Key. I am the Rocket, yeah. One day, Booker T just called me Rocket.
And I got to give him a cool name, man. And Rocket is just something that stuck out with me. And I think that's something that's going to stick with him for a long time. He had Rocket on his shirt. I don't know if you noticed that, but he's definitely falling into it, man. And he's really buying into what this thing really, truly is. And if he could just keep his mind on point and stay focused, he definitely could do something in this business.
I feel like I've been doing really well training here. Just coming as much as I can. Come early to work out before the actual training. We have like a whole gym for people to work out. What would I say to somebody that's on the fence about joining Reality of Wrestling? I would just tell you, just take the loop. Because everybody here is going to take care of you and help you get to where you need to be. You can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Getting close to wrapping this thing up, man. I know we got a few more super chatters, man, so we might as well keep it rolling.
All right. Our next super chat is from Brooklyn Brian.
Super chat.
Is AQA retired? I hope she's doing well.
Yeah, man. I don't know if she's retired yet, but I know she have taken an indefinite suspension. Let's just say that. Until she, get her head right and get back in this. I know she was dealing with some injury, psyche as well. One thing about I've realized, I've had a couple of kids who've made it to that next level, and then it didn't work out for them, and it really screws with their head a little bit. And I can imagine, I can only imagine, making it to the WWE and then, being on that platform and then, one day it's not there. I understand also getting into this business and, sometimes, that saying is true. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because it's not what you see on television. It really isn't. That grind, the pain, just being on the road away from the family, it's real. And that's the hardest part about this business is staying mentally ready to go every single day. Jake the Snake said it, when they did his documentary, he said, when you're in this business, you are obligated to work every day. It's real, man. It's real.
Yeah. I love Angela. She's one of my favorite people. Hope she's doing well. Super talented. And whatever she chooses to do, if she chooses to wrestle again, man, I'll be all smiles.
I need her back in reality wrestling. That's where I need her at. I mean, sometimes, you got to go back to where it all started in order to, find your way. So I say, the door's open. If you listen and get on back down to reality wrestling, and let's make it happen.
Would love it. Would love it. This is from Brooklyn Brian, who said WWE booked wrong having Sting lose to Triple H at WrestleMania. I might agree with that, but at the end of the day, it happened. And it was
yeah. I mean, I might agree with it as well, but I don't book the shows or anything like that, and I try not to look into the bookings. I don't know what they had planned for Triple H and Sting. If Sting would have stuck around a little bit longer and not have gotten hurt, I don't know, but it's here nor there. I'm sure Sting got a big check.
I'm sure the check made up for the loss.
I'm sure that cushioned the pain a whole lot.
It cushioned the pain. Let's see here. Marcus Craig just gave us $5. Appreciate it, Marcus. And then Kid says, is there a weight limit to train at Reality Wrestling?
No weight limit to train. As far as how far you go, that it might affect you if you were like overweight, you know what I mean, or just say perhaps underweight. You gotta think about those things, as well as we got a full gym at Reality Wrestling from top to bottom, cardio equipment to weights, all the way down. So no matter what weight you're in when you get there, maybe you can work on it once you get there.
And this is from
Give us some Roni, brother. Oh yeah.
Cali Toenail, Jake versus Nate official August 5th in Dallas, Texas. Who you with? I wanted to ask you about this book because I find it I like the matchup, for Jake. I want to ask though, is it a little odd that Jake's not going for the Tommy Fury rematch after having his first professional loss?
No, it's not odd. Didn't I tell you, man? He needs to do this. Is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to get back to these MMA fighters because the game ain't to fight real fighters. That's not the end game. That's not the goal. The goal is to let's milk this thing as long as we possibly can. And then, I must say, Jake Paul is doing a service. He's doing a hell of a service, okay? Because Nate Diaz is going to make more money in that fight than he ever made in any fight that he's ever had in the UFC. Okay? He's going to lose. He's going to get beat up. He may even get knocked out. Those little slap box punches, they ain't going to work. They can forget. You can forget all about that. As well as Nate Diaz is nowhere near hungry enough to go out here and really do anything. Jake Paul is coming off a loss. He want to go out here and rebound in grand fashion. Perfect person, Nate Diaz.
I mean, I agree that this is a great fight.
Nick Diaz might be a little different.
Nick's got some power, man.
But Nick, those guys, they've gone through a lot of wars, man. They've gone through a lot of wars. I don't know what those guys are on, short-term memory. I haven't taken nowhere near the punches they've taken. I keep the pen in hand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, about those guys' well-being.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of shape they are mentally or physically, but I like this fight for Jake. I think that he wins this fight. I agree with you. This is who he should be fighting. We said for, this whole Jake Paul run, when he fights a boxer, it's going to be a different thing because you've always made the comparison. I think when we were talking about Brock going into the NFL, hey man, all these guys have played since Pop Warner. They have an extra layer on them that you just can't learn at 28 years old or whatever it is. And for guys like Tommy Fury, although they may not be the greatest boxer in the world, they've been boxing all their life. There's something to say about that. And this is their chosen.
They're boxers. They're pugilists. They've been trained.
This is their chosen profession. An MMA fighter isn't just worried about the boxing technique. They're worried about so many other things. So this is why this has always been a good strategy for Jake, excuse me. And I mean, Dallas, Texas is a good venue, obviously. And I think Jake's going to walk out with the
Be
victory.
close enough to the house to get out there and check it out. We'll see. We'll see.
Might be a nice little drive if they want to hook some people up with some
jumping to Winnie. You know, we'll see.
Some priority passes. You know, we'll definitely come check out the fight. And then this is from Brooklyn Brian. This might close us out today. Who is next to challenge Melo? The Irish Ace?
I don't know, man. You know, Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I like Waller.
May be the guy to challenge Melo. I don't know. Let me see. The guy that's going to bring it out of him would be the Irish Ace. He's the guy that could bring it out of anybody. He really can, just because he's a special talent. He believes in his work and his craft. I really love that guy, man. One of my favorite guys in NXT right now. I don't know. Dragon Lee. He's another guy I think could bring it out of Carmelo. I'm looking for the guy that's going to be able to bring it out of Carmelo Hayes. That's what I'm looking for more than anything. I know when I was doing this, I always thought I was really, really good. But I remember when Benoit and I did it, you know, he brought something out of me nobody else could bring out of me. And it's something that lasted throughout my career. It really made me feel invincible, you know, when I went out and performed, because I knew I had all the tools in the tool bag. I always thought about my losses, you know what I mean? You know, with professional wrestling, you know, we always think about winning, you know, but for me, I always thought about losing as well, you know what I mean? And I wanted my losses to be just as graceful, or as even more graceful as my wins, you know? And so it's a thought process when going out and performing. So I'm just looking to find out who's going to be able to bring it out of Melo, so Melo can really understand what the art of going out and performing in front of those fans is truly, truly all about.
Oh man, I'm very high on Grayson Waller. I really like that guy, man. I think that from a total package perspective, I mean, I could see him rubbing shoulders with people on the main roster. Am I wrong for that? Am I wrong in that thinking?
Nah, man, that kid got Hollywood written all over him. He's just looking for a shot, looking for an opportunity. He definitely could be that guy when he comes out of the curtain. You're gonna cheer, you're gonna boo. One of the two.
One of
the that dude, he's got heat, and he plays this role very, very well. So yeah, I see you know, someone like him being able to bring the best out of Melo. Melo right now is, you know, he's kind of like been that tweener though, you know what I mean, as far as being a baby face and being a heel. You know, you don't know whether you want to like him or not. And that's not something that, you know, you put the onus on the fan. That the onus goes to him.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. So we're going to see exactly how much, you know, he's willing to, you know, take his game to another level to make those fans move and make those fans feel. And you know what I'm talking about. If you guys out there, you know, you who like wondering, you know, man, he's talking in code. Hey, check out Reality Wrestling. Go to realitywrestling.com, sign up, and I'll give you all the inside information you need to know, dog. But right now, man, we got to get out of here, man. We got to get out of here.
We do.
Another great show. I want to thank all the people in the comment section, all the super chatters as well, for hanging out inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams as well. Brad, appreciate you for getting all the heavy lifting done. Guys, coming to you every week from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. Every week, dog. And get some, want some. But right now, we out of here. Peace.